Di dalam kitab Fadailul Khamsah min Sihahis Sittah juz 2 halaman 261. Jadi pernah
I'm preparing something to share with the world.
Tragedi terbunuhnya Khalifah Umar ibnul Khatab radhiyallahu anhu dan fitnah setelahnya. Itu tema besarnya ya. Tapi tentu saya akan bahas dari awal tentang Umar bin Khattab singkat saja. Dan nanti saya akan agak dalam
Rasulullah ya Umar.
Sahabat, pernahkah kita mendengar kisah bahwa menjelang wafatnya Rasulullah SAW, beliau akan dicambuk oleh sahabatnya sendiri? Saat itu Rasulullah SAW sedang jatuh.
And Jerusalem was its prize, its jewel, and they loved to protect Jerusalem fortified. And yet when the Muslims conquered it, unbelievably Allah Azza wa Jalla's miracles came into play, and they managed to carve out that managed to carve out that entire slice of now what is Palestine and that entire region of Syria. Of course, the battles of Yarmouk and others, I have described them in my Seerah lectures. And that is why when the Prophet ﷺ passed away, the Sahaba knew that the number one land that he had wanted was Al-Aqsa. So in the reign of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, the only lands that the Muslims attacked, the only lands that they wanted to conquer in the reign of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq was Masjid al-Haram, was Al-Aqsa. And we all know that the victory took place in the very first days of the Khilafah of Umar ibn Khattab. So Umar, after the conquest of Damascus, he commanded Yazid ibn Abi Sufyan to be his governor. As I said, Yazid passed away and Muawiyah was then placed in charge of Damascus. The Muslims continued marching onwards, conquering a number of key cities of Syria. And again, one by one, as they conquered the cities, the Roman soldiers, the Byzantine soldiers dispersed, and the morale is going down and down until finally the eye is set on the prize of Jerusalem. Until finally the Muslims are now basically feeling confident enough to go to Jerusalem. And all of these cities are fortresses. They're all within walls upon walls. Jerusalem is no different, and they laid siege to Jerusalem for 4 months. And the same as in Damascus, many small battles and skirmishes took place. And once again, we really don't quite understand, where are the Byzantine armies now? This is Jerusalem. This is the holiest of holy. This is where, according to their beliefs and doctrines, Jesus Christ walked and lived and died and was resurrected. And after 4 months of surrounding Jerusalem, the people of Jerusalem agreed to surrender. But they said, as a token of respect, we want your leader, the Khalifa, to come all the way so we can hand the keys over. Finally, the bishop of Jerusalem, just like Thomas of Damascus, the bishop of Jerusalem, his name was Sophronius basically agreed to surrender, but with the condition that the Khalifa himself come to receive the keys of the city. Meaning Umar ibn Khattab has to come, and only then will I surrender. So Khalid ibn Walid wrote a letter back to Umar, and he said after 4.5 months they're willing to surrender, but the condition of surrender, you must come, then they will surrender. We're not going to surrender to an army general. We want your leader to come. And so Umar ibn al-Khattab, and this shows you his humility. It shows you how much he loved Al-Aqsa. Umar ibn al-Khattab traveled with himself and his servant, and you all know the story, alternating with one camel or one donkey, they say, alternating and taking turns. They were both dressed the same. They looked outwardly the same. There is no entourage. And the people of Al-Aqsa were shocked. This is your leader, the leader of the new Muslim empire. This is your leader. He looks like a common person. He acts like a common person. And they understood why Allah Azza wa Jalla had blessed the Muslim Ummah. It was not because of their military strength. It was not because of their arms. It was not because of their weapons. It was because of true sincerity and humility. The leader is riding a donkey as he comes to accept the keys. And at the time it was because of true sincerity and humility. The leader is riding a donkey as he comes to accept the keys. And at the time they enter the city, it was the turn of his servant to ride on the donkey. So Umar insisted, no, it's your turn, you're going to be riding. That ikhlas, that humility was the real reason why Al-Aqsa was conquered. And this is demonstrated in the treatment of Umar ibn al-Khattab when he conquered Al-Aqsa. In those days, Al-Aqsa was ruled by the Christians, and they did not allow the Jews to live there. And they desecrated the Jewish holy site, which is called the temple now. They desecrated, this is the Christians of the time. They converted it into a dumpster, into a junkyard. They would throw their najas there because they wanted to show the people, we don't agree with you. We are a different faith. We are the superior religion. When Umar ibn al-Khattab conquered it and he was given a tour of the city, he went to visit the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, which is the famous church of Al-Aqsa of Jerusalem. And the pastor, the minister said, you may pray your salah over here, the famous example that took place when it was time for Asr. And Umar said, if I pray here, Palestine is a very modern one. It only goes back around 100 years, 1897. In 1897, a group of intellectual, secular, non-religious Jews, this is a very important point to make. They were not religious people. They were people who didn't really believe in Judaism as a religion.
Shalom, my name is Or.